Welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's that one feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys are spamming the like button, hitting the share so other people can spam that like button. As of the time of recording, Bitcoin is currently sitting at $109,200, and what we went over in the video is I think it's starting pretty clearly on accumulation here. Reaccumulation schematic. We've got our preliminary support, selling climax, our secondary test, and phase B. And of course, the big question is phase C for Bitcoin. Is it going to be accompanied by the LPS variation, or is it going to be accompanied by the spring variation? I'm not sure the answer to that question. I would say this though: if we were to get the LPS version, then the bottom is already in. If we were to get the spring version, then I anticipate us to test the bottom of, or the top of, the 200 moving average range. It's very rare that you're going to just bust right through that. That'd be about $106,000. There's a lot of support over here for Bitcoin. People are freaking out. There's about to be a cross to the RSI on the upside, which is a very good thing. Lots of volatility. September, expect lots of volatility, upside and downside. The average return for September for Bitcoin and the traditional stocks are the worst performing month in all of cryptocurrency. So I think people are freaking out about that. People are freaking out. All eyes are going to be on Jerome Powell and the speech that is to come, as far as, you know, them finally cutting rates, and what is that going to look like? And I just realized that you guys don't have the charts at all. No worries. We'll get it for you. Sorry about that. So all eyes are going to be, on September 17th. There's going to be lots of volatility because of that, because of the interest rates being cut by the United States and by Fed Chair Jerome Powell. But, you know, what I think September is the pivot month, right? So there's going to be volatility, upside and downside. Make no mistake about it. There's going to be volatility, upside and downside. Make no mistake about it. But however, October is the third best performing month with over 10 years of data, and November is the highest performing month with over 10 years of data. And ultimately, I think that we are basically redoing exactly what we did in 2020 in August. And we'll zoom in a little bit and we'll show you just that. On the top is from the C19 crash through the August little pump, and they dip in September. And then on the bottom, we will show present day from the tariff crash to the August pump. And structurally, I think that we are doing the exact same thing here. I think it's pretty clear, actually, at this point. So on the top, like I said, is from the C19 crash, spring, into the August pump, followed by a 3-week correction. We can see here August 17th was the peak. We had a 3-week correction followed by bottoming out in September. And what we can see is, like, September was actually up, right? So it was just kind of grueling its way up. It wasn't until we got until the October full moon, October 1st, actually. And it was pretty much up only from there. And, you know, I don't really anticipate that much upside for Bitcoin, 138,207, but I do think that the altcoins, especially the others, that's essentially what it's going to look like. So we had our, let me just recap what, you know, the structure. This was a big correction. We're talking a 60% correction, and then over here was a 20% correction. So we've already done 3 weeks at this point. It's about 20 days at this point. And we're down about 13%. And, you know, that's kind of to be expected with diminishing returns. And this was our spring in Wyckoff, the April tariffs. This was the spring in Wyckoff with the C19 crash. We pumped into August, followed by a back test of the prior range, and then it was off to Neverland. September for this particular iteration was basically the pivot month, and that's what I anticipate. I anticipate a pivot happening in September, where we go into the real deal euphoria. And in my opinion, now is not the time to be shaken from your backs. I do not want to say it any more clearly. Now is also not the time to be FOMOing into new projects from people that are not in crypto, right? I.e. the president. It's not the time to be doing that either. I have zero interest in buying a new meme coin from any person that has not been in crypto forever. That being said, structurally, we're doing exactly what we've been talking about. And, potato, whether Bitcoin pivots at 108 or if it goes to 106, ultimately the next structural move I anticipate for Bitcoin is getting back to the $113,000 range. That's going to be a big level. Let's go back to the present day here. And then we got to get above the 50 moving average. So whether we pivot now and go to 113, or if we come down and touch 106 and then go to 113, again, it's potato to me. But structurally, the next thing is going to be testing that. See, do we have enough gas to get above that based off of the moving averages? I would say we do. And then, we're going to test the top of the range one more time at around 123, 124. And we're going to see, do we have enough gas to actually get to price discovery beyond 118, which would be to put us at 138,000. Now, what we've been talking about a lot with Ethereum, we've circled the dates here. Very quietly, Ethereum is exponentially outperforming. Even now with this dip, like, people are crying about Ethereum being down. Like, bro, Ethereum was just at $2,100. There is no crying in the casino. And I have the dates circled here, right here, and I will circle them again for you. And what we can see is these times that Bitcoin has interacted with these prices. Excuse me, let's get it lined up perfectly here. Bitcoin has interacted with these prices. Let's get one more. That looks pretty good right there. Ethereum, the first time, Ethereum was at 3,000. Bitcoin goes up, pulls back. Ethereum was at 3,500. Bitcoin goes up, pulls back again. Ethereum is at $4,200. After just being at $2,100. June 25th. Okay? Do you understand? That's not even 2 months ago. Okay? It hasn't even been. I think it actually has been 2 months. But either way, $2,100. Like, do you understand that is... So 72 days. Ethereum, with the pullback, is up 108%. Do you understand that is 15 years of stock market gains? And you're going to cry in the casino. It can't be me, bro. I'm not going to freak out about that. I'm not. So what is the price to pay being up 110%? And the last 72 days, the price is a 10% pullback. That's the price to pay. Maybe a 15% pullback. That's the price to pay. Okay, there's no free lunch. If you think there's a free lunch, you're in the wrong space. Okay, crypto is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you think it's a get-rich-quick scheme, you're going to lose. It's a get-rich eventually with patience, due diligence, discipline. Not through just because you didn't long Ethereum from 2,100 like I did doesn't mean that it didn't go up 100%, because it absolutely did. And then lastly, we'll look at XRP and Bitcoin dominance, and then we'll get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. I know everyone's going to be freaking out today, but I could care less. So I made a video about this earlier about XRP, the reaccumulation schematic here. And reaccumulation looks like so. You go into accumulation, you break from accumulation, and then you go back into a chopping on top of a support. And basically the same thing. Big question with it. Are we going to be doing the spring variation? Here is one of the reaccumulation schematics. As you can see, big run up, buying climax, automatic reaction, resistance at the secondary test area, and then you can see these two lines. This is the critical level of support, but even so, you creep down into the spring, you take out all of that support. People, this is accompanied by lots of panic. This is accompanied by lots of people selling the bottom, because that's what retail loves to do. They love buying the top and selling the bottom like it's their job, like their life depends on it. We love buying tops and selling bottoms as retail investors, because that's how fear and greed works. And then you jump the creek, get back at the top of the range here, higher than what we were going off and away. So the big question for XRP is, are we going to be doing the regular creek where we don't make a new low, or are we going to do the spring variation? In my opinion, it's probable that we're going to do the spring variation for XRP, which would be about 265, and then jumping the creek would be about 325, ultimately going into $5 and $8. But ultimately, XRP looking fine to me. We're on top of lots of support over here. This is ultimately is just a higher high and then a back test of the prior range. That's how you could oversimplify it. Bitcoin dominance is officially in a bear market, and people are freaking out. Like, this is the wrong time to be freaking out, in my opinion. I'm on the daily here. And what does a bear market look like from any asset? Okay, it is the 200. For me, it's the blue. EMA on top, then the 100, then the 50, then the 20. Right now, presently, Bitcoin dominance is in a bear market. What does that mean? That's really good for altcoins, okay? Now, we have been just getting crushed. In fact, we're down. What percentage are we down here since over the last 67 days? 12%, down 12%. Insane. That's a lot. This isn't a meme coin. Okay, down 12%. That's a big deal. So could we get a bounce like we had here, a big fall off a cliff and then a bounce up, dead cat bounce? Sure, we certainly can. We could even go all the way up to 60% and then continue to roll over. All that's normal. Okay, I just want to see this hold here. I don't want to see this being taken out, and that would be fine. We could even go all the way up to the 200 at 61.7, and that would be fine. Ultimately, though, I anticipate, because it's literally in a bear market. If Bitcoin had this structure right now, I would be freaking out. But it doesn't. It doesn't. But you know what does have this structure? Bitcoin dominance. All right? So can we go up to 60.2? Can we go up to 61.7? We certainly can. All that would be normal. All that would be fine. And then I would anticipate whether it's right now. Let me back up here. Here's my 3 targets for Bitcoin dominance. Rejection off of the 20 moving average, 58.9, call it 59%, and then going lower. That would be target number 1. Target number 2 would be to the 50, 60.4, and then rolling over. And target number 3 would be to the 200, 61.7, and then rolling over. Those are my 3 targets for Bitcoin dominance. All of those would be fine. All those would be normal. All of those, everyone will be freaking out and panicking. Ski, is it time to panic? Should I panic sell the bottom, please? I need to lose as much money as I can. Help me, Ski. Help me. All right, and with that, we'll get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. We'll start it off on YouTube, and then I'll read the TikTok comments. What up, Ski? Hi, bro. Sup, Ski? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú, Ski? Do you have a Solnic chart market in Wyckoff? Yeah, Solnic is in LPS, in my opinion. It's pretty clear it's in the LPS version, in my opinion. I literally bought Solnic today. So I went on a buying spree on Solnic while people were panic selling. It's what they do every time. By the way, every time we have a dip in the market, even though I say, like, we are just fine, we're just where we need to be, even though I say all of these things, people still panic sell the bottom. It's like they do it like it's their job. But there you go. In my opinion, this is where we're at. We're deep in. This is like, I mean, come on. Like, let me actually get rid of these moving averages here. By the way, before I do that, look how coiled up they are, bro. Look at, they are right on each other. That's a beautiful thing. All right. I'm going to pull this away. Let's get rid of some of these. We'll just leave this right here. So this is your markdown, selling climax, automatic reaction, secondary test in phase B, and then your LPS. In my opinion, we are in phase C. Here you go. Like, I can't draw it up any cleaner than this. Like, if you gave me 10 years to come up the most perfect Wyckoff accumulation schematic that I could possibly come up with, I don't know that I can come up with a better one than this. Corporate wants us to find the difference. It's the same picture. That's about as clean as it gets. The next thing is going to the sign of strength. Now, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if it's next week, but that's the next structure. Wyckoff can be more macro than we want, right? But that's the next structure. Getting to the sign of strength, which will take us to about $8 million market cap. In all likelihood, Solnick is going to chop there, just like so, before going off and away to phase E. That's what I think is next. So much so that I bought it with my own money. There you go. 3,100. What is 3,100? You think ETH will be around 2035? What's your price prediction for ETH to 2035? I think ETH will be around 2035. I've made the case, like, is Ethereum going away? No, it's not. The question is it going to be number 2 in 2035? Or is it AOL? Like, AOL existed during the .com bubble. AOL is still around today, right? So, yeah. That's so weird, but the top sell, the bottom. If you never sell, you never lose. What did you say could be the low for XRP? 265 if we're lucky, blessed, and highly favored. Only 265, by the way. Let me go back, okay? So, I see two possibilities for XRP right now. This is a reaccumulation schematic, okay? This is basically you have a breakout, and then you might confuse it for distribution, but it's called reaccumulation. And then you go to another leg higher. You could call it like a staircase your way higher. But this is common, and it comes from, like, you go into a big run up, you come back and reaccumulate, or accumulation, and then you go up higher like so, and then you go into accumulation. So if we go back to XRP, right? Like, what happened with XRP? That's what happened, right? Let me pull this up here. So, like, I see it pretty clear as day. You have a big run up, you go into accumulation, break higher. Okay, so let's go back. Let's just show it just like so. This is literally a masterclass. So you go into a big parabolic rise here. So this is a continuation. These three are continuations of image one. So image one is like the start, and then 2, 3, 4 is continuations of this. Does that make sense? So you go to a big parabolic rise, you come down, and you accumulate. Okay, so let's show XRP. What happened here? Parabolic rise. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see it. And literally, we were at 50 cents, back in November of 2024. Not even 1 year ago, XRP is up an 8x. All this idea, listen, I'm not an XRP maxi, but to pretend like it wasn't at 50 cents 10 months ago, you're being disingenuous, right? So you go up parabolic rise, and then you go into accumulation, right? Let's zoom in now. So it's accumulation. You get your selling climax, your secondary test of phase B, your sign of strength, back test, bull trap, and then you break higher. Okay, so now this is the continuation of what I've been talking about. So you go parabolic rise, you go into your accumulation, and then boom, you go higher again. So this is a continuation from phase 1 to phase 2 of reaccumulation, and then boom. Now, the question is, for XRP, are we going to do the spring or are we going to do just the support? If we do the spring, it'd be about 265. If it's just the support, it'd be about right now. So that's it. And then we would jump the creek at about 325. That would be confirmation of jumping the creek, as they call it in Wyckoff, jumping across the creek. Okay. XEN has a beautiful Wyckoff reaccumulation structure. I agree. Your outlook for September, neutral. All right, let's get into the TikTok comments. My God, I missed a bunch of them. Subski, what's happening to ADA? Love this dip. VeChain still on track. VeChain is more than on track. We cooked. Who's we? We? Do you think we run up to 114, then set the spring to 104? To 104? We? There is no we. What's happening with your other account? Are you talking about your boy Ski? Is that what you're talking about? Come on, can we look? Let's go Ski. I got rugged by WIFLI. You hate to see it. Mid-September. The Jeets. Will we get a run before the rate cuts? I think so. Absolutely. Like, you know, we have 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a long time in crypto. That's a long time in crypto, right? That's a long time in crypto. Like, what happened for XRP in 2 weeks? Just example. It's more than 2 weeks. It's 17 days. So let's see, like, what happens in 17 days. For this example, XRP was up 24%. Or how about right here? 17 days, XRP was up 57%. Excuse me, I lied. 60%. How about Ethereum? Like 17 days is a long time in crypto. Like things can change very quickly in 17 days. Absolutely. Things can change violently in 17 days. So I think that the market is front running the rate cuts. You know. All right, here we go. Like we were at 3,400 here for Ethereum. You know, this is 39% in 11 days. Or right here, we were at 2,100. 46%. That's an eternity. An eternity in crypto. 17 days is an absolute eternity in crypto. 53%. So lots can happen. What are your thoughts on gold? It's almost at an all-time high. Gold is at an all-time high. The stock market is at an all-time high. These are not bad signs for crypto. VeChain prediction. 15 cents, 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. What platform do you use to trade crypto? BitUnex, I believe. Rate cut spring, maybe. Probably, honestly. You think tomorrow's markets will be today? By the way, guys, like you have to use this pullback. You listen. Here's a trick for you. Never trust. Here's a trick, okay? And sometimes I'm guilty of this. Never trust a pump on a weekend. Never trust a dump on a weekend. All right? Just like when you get older, you never trust a fart. That's what a fart is. It's like a weekend dump is a fart past 50. Once you get 50, you can't trust a fart out in public like that. You can't just be out here risking it all. You know what I'm saying? So a weekend dump, you cannot trust it. A weekend pump, you cannot trust it. You should always be skeptical of any movement on weekend, because guess what? That's not institutions making these moves. And so you might be like, well, but Ski, today's Monday. Yeah, it's a holiday. It's not institutional. It's not an institutional move. Okay? This is a retail-led move. The bottom. Yeah, bro. I don't know if you've been under a rock, but there hasn't been a better, more accurate bottom caller than me, period. When's Bitcoin going up to 120? It could happen quickly. Bro, you said Solnic. I said Solnic. SOLNIC. Tick Track, are you still in here? Because if you want to give me a if you want to give me an opportunity to brag upon myself, I will definitely take it. But I'm not going to do it if you're not in here. I'm not going to do it if you're not in here. Jam told me we're in a bear market. We're cooked. He also said 2,700 Ethereum top. Jam has been bearish every day. Every day since 2022. If every day you're bearish, you will eventually be right. Now's the time to accumulate spot. Smoke them if you got them. Bearish since 37K. No, literally. I can see people tagging. Can ICP go to all-time high? No, that's not happening. My targets for ICP. ICP is one of my top like blue chip plays, but my targets are $20, $40, like $80, $100. You know what I mean? What happened with your boy Ski? I'm literally monitoring this chat with the your boy Ski account. I still have it. I just don't post there. It was attacked by some extortionists, and TikTok's crap is annoying. So it still has a ban warning. It got banned, and then I got it unblocked and unbanned. But it has a ban warning, and I'm just going to not use it. I'll just use it for reposting purposes, like I've been using. And then that's it. The other account has already pretty much caught up, like half. I think we're closing on 20,000 followers. I just opened that account in late June. It hasn't even been 3 months yet. And I know the views are getting like 5-10 times more, because literally like people were, making a concerted effort not to get my message out there. And that's fine. But as far as that account, I don't care about the account. The information is coming from me. So I'm not married to my account is what I'm saying. It took me 2 months to basically get half of the followers with $0 spent that it took me 4 years to do on the other account. I fully imagine by November or December, this account will be the main account by followers. So listen, I don't have any interest in posting on there and just dealing with the nonsense of TikTok. I'll just keep it for reposting purposes. Jesus. Say that 10 times fast. La 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 la. Trump. What about Trump? I think 104. Bitcoin then up, looking liquidity heat map. Maybe. I missed you, man. I've been going live every day. I think it took me 3 days, 3 or 4. No, it took me a week to get live access on this account. So I think since July, I've been pretty regularly going live on the Skis crypto account. So I still have the Your Boy Ski account, but I have no interest in trying to grow it anymore because it's obviously been flagged by the system. So that's that. That's all I really have to say about that. Did you look at Link? I like Link. 38, 78, 178. Those are my targets. XRP prediction 5, 8, and 12. Morpheo, let me not speak. Am I thinking of a different call or coin? MOR. I might be thinking of a different coin. Yes, this is listen, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I don't have interest in this coin. I don't care how much on-chain data there is. There's too much inflation. Listen, I tried to tell you guys this lesson about Arrow. I banged the table on Arrow that there's too much inflation. I don't care what it does. And no one believed me. And then all of a sudden, the people that were promoting Arrow, like their life depended on it, then they're like, whoopsies, I'm a Sagittarius about Arrow. And now it's the same thing with this coin. And listen, the lesson hasn't changed even if the coin has. The lesson is supply plus demand equals price. And if they're going to dump 66.9% of the supply on your head, that's not great. So right now the market cap is 606 million. The FDV is 1.82 billion. There's a lot of supply that's going to be dumped. Maybe it does well. I would love to be face-meltingly wrong. But again, verily, verily, I say unto you, the most important thing is tokenomics. That is the most important asset. That is the most important factor on determining whether or not it's a good investment. Start there. For me, the threshold is 40%. Max. So if the number, so let's call this 1 billion, okay, instead of 1.8 billion. If it was $600 million market cap and 1 billion FDV, it would be within the threshold. But for me personally, that is the threshold that I'm willing to be okay with. And what that means is, if it's at 40%, it means that the inflation is on par with the dollar, which we know is at an astronomical rate. So comparing something to the dollar, maybe not the best thing anyways. Really, ideally, you would like it less than 40%. But if it's at 40%, the inflation is on par with the dollar. If it's above 40%, market cap to FDV, they are inflating the supply, diluting the supply more than that of the dollar, which is generally what we're going to measure these assets in the first place. Here's a thought. Only use jam for putting on toast. What's your probability for ADA, brother? ADA is one of my top blue chip plays. I'm in a long on ADA right now. September will be boring. September will not be boring. Like, if you zoom out, sure, September will be boring. But in reality, September is going to be very volatile. It's just going to be a nothing burger, in my opinion. Alex likes Rismus. Do you have a market cap prediction? I don't. Let's see. I don't think so. What was the all-time high? 128. I actually don't mind this chart, to be honest. Probably 50 million. $60 million market cap would be the 0.5. I think that's super reasonable. What's it at right now? That's a 9x. November will be the next big move. Okay, historically speaking for crypto, and we saw this last year too, October is the third best performing month. 29.6% is the average return for Bitcoin, which Bitcoin is the slowest mover. And November, the average return is 40%. So I think it's going to be both of these months stacking upon one another. But the thing is, like, the altcoins, in my opinion, are going to exponentially outperform this. And I've been saying this. I've been on record. Since 2022, I have had November of 2025 as my target. 2468 for ADA. I like ADA a lot. Chainlink, 3878, 178. Wi-Fi has 4x inflation. Not good, people. Again, HB. I agree with you, brother. I have no interest in buying a coin from someone that has not been in their whole life into crypto or their whole like career in crypto. Right? If they just got into crypto in 2024 and they're making coins, no thank you. Right? The Richest Man in Babylon, one of my favorite books. Oh, we talked about this. The Richest Man in Babylon. One of my favorite books. Great book. It's on YouTube for free. Check it out. It's on YouTube for free. The principle is paying yourself 10% first, right? And then in the book, he has a mentor. And the mentor tells him to pay himself 10% first. Well, the first thing he does is he pays himself 10% of his money. He saves it up. But then he goes and buys like a nice purse for his wife, and he has like a nice feast. And then like his mentor comes back and he's laughing at him. He's like, you ate your baby. You're supposed to put your baby to work and multiply your baby. So he says, okay. So he goes back to the drawing board, and he starts investing, saving 10% of his money, saving 10% of his money. And then what does he do? The brickmaster comes to him and says, hey, I have this top secret Fibonacci retracement investment for you. He doesn't say that, but he says he has this top secret investment for him in jewelry, right? And it's going to make you rich. And the mentor comes back, and the guy, he's bragging to his friend, to his mentor. He says, this time I didn't eat my baby. I invested it. Right? He says, the brickmaster gave me this hot tip on jewelry, and I'm going to be so rich. You're going to be so proud of me, mentor. And the mentor, he says, alas, you have lost your baby. Right? And the point of that story is, you don't take investing advice from a brickmaster about jewelry. What does that mean? Okay? If the brickmaster wants to give you investing advice about bricks, by golly, that is your man. He knows his stuff. But if someone is not a crypto person, who is a developer, who has been in the proper trenches, and then all of a sudden they give you advice on crypto, that's you lost your baby. You need to put your babies to work so that they multiply, and they give you more babies, and they give you more babies, and then you put those babies to work, and then you get more babies. And then suddenly, you're the richest man in Babylon. So, the point being, I am not buying any crypto from any politician. I'm not. I don't care who it is. That's a good book, by the way, guys. Where are we at? Dynex still in accumulation. It's up like 3x, I believe, from the bottom. Pretty sure. So don't take investment advice about jewelry from a brickmaster. I.e., yeah, this is beautiful. Even with this pullback, we're up from the bottom 100%. Beautiful. This is really good looking. Yes. So look, I'm not buying crypto from any politician. I'm not buying crypto from any... I'm not. Unless you want to lose your baby, then go ahead. I will not be partaking. No, thank you. Not I. 357 for Ondo. Ski, do a lot of solid cryptos retrace to the 236 during the bear market? Okay, Dawn. Let's... Okay. All right, so Dawn's asking, do a lot of cryptos retrace to the 236 in the bear market? Now, I assume what you're asking is, do they come back to the 236 in the bear market? Let's see, like Ethereum. Are you asking me this? And please clarify, Don. Are you asking me, like, for instance, Ethereum? Do most solid crypto projects come back to the 236? For Ethereum, it'd be 1900. Is that what you're asking me? He says, don't take crypto advice from YouTubers who are not multimillionaires from crypto and don't have the need to be on YouTube. I agree. I bought a farm with my crypto. Cash. I'm here for y'all. I agree with that statement. How big's your farm? I bought XRP under 30 cents and publicly with video evidence. In fact, I have a video. Let's go here. I had a video and everyone said I was a silly willy. Everyone said I was just a big old silly willy. Oh, and everyone said I was a silly willy. That I was selling. I said I was selling my XRP. So here you go. And if you read the comments, there's some funny, like some people were supportive. Some people were definitely supportive. Here we go. 7 months ago. When was 7 months ago? Oh yeah, December. I sold my XRP and bought land. When was that? Oh yeah, XRP was at $3.33. I agree with that statement. I own 6 million in rentals. Thank the Lord. Same, bro. Not 6 million, but I own rental properties as well. I will not have a mortgage payment at all. And I have a farm. So I agree with you, brother. Don't accept advice from YouTubers who are not... I've been in this space for 10 years. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this. I do this because it's my life mission to help as many people, as many regular people, as I humanly, possibly, ethically can to change their life. Because I know what it was like to be dirt poor. Because that's how I grew up. I grew up not knowing my father. I grew up with a mother who had substance issues. I grew up in foster care. I grew up on food stamps. I grew up thinking if I could just make $5,000 a month, man, I'd have it made. If I could just make $15 an hour. Boy, I'd have it set. That's how I grew up thinking. So I had on the other end of the spectrum with no help. And so that's my life mission, to help as many regular people, maybe who had a better starting position than me, maybe had a worse, but I know the formula. All right, so Don, let's go back to Don. The answer to your question is no. That's not common. So Don has a question. Do normal cryptos like Ethereum in their bear market come back to the 236? No, they do not. The commonplace, actually, the most common structure is to the all-time high. Right? Is to the all-time high. Like, where did Ethereum go? Here. What would that imply, by the way? All right, so if we zoom out, let's show. This is a good question. What happened here? Let's zoom in on the 2017 bull run. If I show you, there was, I pulled this down. Let's put it right here. There's about a week where it was higher. Okay, there's about a week here that it was higher. Where was the next bottom in 2022? That is the most common bottom. Is the prior all-time high. Now, what would that imply for Ethereum? Now, I know why you're asking that question, because you think, and I'm not getting on to you, but I'm connecting the dots here. You're asking that question because everyone's telling you it's the bear market. Well, does it go to the 236? Where's it going to go? No. What's going to happen is Ethereum's going to go into price discovery. Minimum to 7,200. And then it's going to backtest 4,800. That's what's going to happen. It might go higher. You get cash flow from your farm? No, I have not moved there yet. But I will be growing cattle. I will be raising cattle, not growing them. Listen, my house is for sale right now. And the sale of my house will pay for my new house. And I will not have a house payment at all. And then I can just focus on the farm. And that's what we're going to raise. We're going to raise good quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Specifically Dexter cattle, what you could call them mini cows. Those are the best thing to be 100% all organic, no GMO, grass-fed, grass-finished. Raising, because I care about my community. From my core, from my being. Am I perfect? Do I make mistakes? Yes. I make mistakes. No, I'm not perfect. Am I human? Am I flawed individual? Yes. But at my core, I care about people. I care about my community. And I think, personally, it started with my family because I was concerned about my family, what they were eating. But I don't think there's enough good, really high-quality food for people. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be raising Dexter cattle because it's the only breed that can be 100% grass-fed, grass-finished, and not have any grain. And that's important to me to provide really good quality food for my community because I care about people. I care about my community. We'll also be doing chickens, eggs, that sort of thing. We haven't. I already planted an orchard though. But is the farm profitable right now? Is it cash flowing right now? No, it is not. How you doing? When peak? What kind of cattle? Dexter cattle. That's what I'll be raising. Those are miniature cattle. They're super hardy, super docile. They're miniature cows. They need about half the acreage. And listen, I don't want to nerd out on you on cows here, but they're pretty awesome because they need half the land. They can 100% be grass-fed, grass-finished, and their hanging weight, so meaning like how much they weigh versus how much you can actually eat, is about 60%, whereas like an Angus is 40% or so. Excuse me. Blow off top, November. Yeah, somewhere around there. November, December. I'll buy meat you're willing to ship. That's the plan. Is in order to do that, I have to get it butchered by a USDA butcher to ship across state. I have a whole farm channel called Skis Farm. If you guys are interested in that, I've been slightly documenting the journey. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, we bought a 27-acre farm with my XRP profits, and we are transitioning right now. So basically, my house is for sale. We just got it on the market. Once it sells, that will pay for the new house, and we're going to move our family out there. I already did all the fence. Like what I've already done on the farm is I've done all the fencing. I've sort of set up the infrastructure. I planted 20 trees, some apple trees, some pear trees, some peaches, some plum trees, some cherry trees. I forget what else. Maple. So there you go. That is the update on the Skis farm. I haven't really talked about it too much, but I plan to be out there full time by about December. How much did you put in XRP back in the day? Okay, so here's my story, right? I have been in crypto since 2014. The first time I ever bought Bitcoin was probably 2013, 2014, around that time. I was an idiot kid. I didn't know anything about anything. Okay? I didn't know anything about life. Okay? I know nothing about nothing. I was just random. I had a buddy show me a stupid website that it was just a stupid rocket ship degenerate gambling website. That was my introduction to crypto. It was just like this. There was this rocket ship, right? That doesn't look too much like a rocket ship, but we're gonna pretend. There was this rocket ship, and it would go up this rocket ride, and it would go 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, and at some point, the rocket would always blow up. Boom. And if it blew up with your money, you would lose all your money. But if you cashed out before it blew up, you would get to keep your money. And that was my introduction to Bitcoin. That was back in like 2013, 2014. But I was just an idiot kid who didn't know anything about anything. And they used to give you like $10 worth of Bitcoin a day, which is like $10,000 worth of Bitcoin or whatever. And I would go there and play this stupid game. But eventually I got curious. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this Bitcoin thing? Like, what is this? And I started learning about it. I started researching. I read the white paper. And then by 2016, I was like, oh, this is big. This is, I started becoming more and more obsessed with it. 2017, I made a little bit of money, but I bought the top. I made a lot of mistakes. I bought the top, sold the bottom. All those things that I am advocating against, I did in 2017. That was my baptism bull run. But the difference with my journey and why I advocate from experience, from personal experience. I had friends who were in crypto in 2017. Maybe I had friends that were more bought in to crypto in 2017 than me. Okay, in my real life. But the difference was when 2018 rolled around, I doubled, tripled down, and got super disciplined, super dedicated. And they got shiny object syndrome, and they didn't have the conviction. When it got tough, they went away, but I didn't. That was the difference. And I was doing DoorDash, I was doing Lyft, I was doing all these things, and every dollar, I was, working 50, 60 hours with the Army, and every dollar that I could get every night and weekends for 5 years straight, I worked 80 to 100 hours. And I would do Lyft, I would do DoorDash, I'd make my YouTube videos, and every dollar that I could get that was not paying for my bills, I was buying Bitcoin, XRP, and some other things. 2021, I made a lot of money. That was my first 40x. Matic, shout out to Matic, did a 40x for me. And that one was the one that really changed my life. I still made some mistakes. I was still mastering my craft. But I sold a lot of crypto in 2021, around $50,000. I didn't sell the absolute top, but I sold near it. And I continued to be committed to the process, committed to perfecting my craft, perfecting this thing that is Wyckoff. Luckily for me, I had a mentor along the way who showed me a thing or two. And in 2022, I even doubled down even more and just really perfected this system that I teach now. So has it been a straight line for me? No, it hasn't. There's been lots of bumps. There's been lots of bruises. I've made lots of mistakes. I've sent whole Bitcoins off to the ether. I made all kind of mistakes. I have, hundreds of thousands of dollars just lost forever. Never be able to get. But that's my story in crypto. And I am just a regular dude trying to help regular people. I like smoking cigars. I like drinking beer. I'm just a regular guy. I don't think that there's anything special or about me. I think that I am just dedicated and disciplined, and that's it. That's really the difference. I don't get shiny object syndrome, and I don't get scared every time the wind blows. Vegan cows. So there you go. That's my story in crypto. Don't flip your phone on the side. How much did you put into XRP? I bought a farm with my XRP cash. 40% of my XRP profit. I bought a farm outright. That's how much. I still own 60% of my XRP. We look at the ETH chart. I like ETH here. ETH has been, we started off the show with Ethereum. It's been significantly outperforming Bitcoin, which is a major stage, right? We talk about this all the time. This is the cryptocurrency roller coaster ride. It goes from fiat into Bitcoin. This is the longest part of the ride. This took years to take place. And then you start rotating into Ethereum and XRP. In my opinion, we have undeniable evidence that that's where we're at. Ethereum is up 50% with the pullback. Higher than Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin rotating into Ethereum. That's a big deal. And in my opinion, the next part is going into large caps. Now, just like with a roller coaster ride, as the ride goes on, the faster the ride goes, the more hectic it gets. And that's what I think is going to happen too. Boom, 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 and then right back to square one. The Web, thanks for the $5 donation. Yeah, savage, bro. I appreciate you. 5K in spot, VT versus 5K leverage, not financial advice. Just do spot. You don't have any worries about being liquidated. Spot is the way to go. Still in the SOS for Wyckoff? I think so. For ICP. What would be Solonic bear market low from previous all-time high? Right, so technically, it's here now, right? So like, that's a good point. So like, and what I think is going to happen too is Solnic is going to go on a run and will probably reaccumulate at the previous high, which was $10 million market cap. But where are we accumulating now? Any idea? Where is this big trading range? I'll give you a hint. I have a box. Okay, so what happened here? Like, where is this box? Where are we bottoming out here? Oh, right. On top of the previous all-time high. That's textbook. Okay, so what do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to go higher. And then probably the next bottom is going to be 10 million. That's what I predict. Maybe something like so. And it'll look like that. And guess what? People are going to be pissed when this happens. They're going to be pissed. They're going to be so mad when it happens. They're going to be pissed. But then we're going to do it again. And we're going to keep doing it for the next 10 years. I will personally, in the actual bear market, be DCAing into Solnic probably $2,000 a month. That's what I'm going to do. I'll be doing that for the next 10 years. Says, my story is in 2022, I got curious about crypto and started researching, and I found Ski. I knew I could trust this guy. I've been following ever since. I appreciate that, brother. Any moves in the near future for Solnic with Mario? North Carolina or TCU tonight? Who you got? I'm going to watch that after this. Probably North Carolina. Yeah, so to answer your question with Solnic, yes, I think the next thing is here to the SOS, to $8 million market cap. It could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. I literally bought the dip myself. I literally bought it myself. And you still drive a 2009 Camry. What do you think about Sui, brother? It's all right. Solnic is my number one 100x play, period, for those asking. It's a DApp. There's a documentary. There's a documentary being filmed. We already have staking out. You can earn 30%, or excuse me, 15% on your Solnic. There's a staking DApp. There's more DApps to come. The BYOB movement, the Be Your Own Bank movement. That's what it's about. Check us out. But all right, guys, that's gonna be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. If your boy Ski, if a Ski's crypto pops into your DMs and says, "Thank you for calling Indian Ski," it's not me, brother. That's somebody from Pakistan, somebody from Kyrgyzstan, Turkestan, Afghanistan. It's not a ski stand, though. All right? For the love of God, don't get scammed. If you want to set up a personalized exit strategy, lifetime access to my course, or a personal entry strategy, you can hit me in the DMs for that. That is something that I offer. We get a one-on-one call with me. But that's going to be it for this time. I'll be live tomorrow, roughly 5 p.m. Central Time. Be there or be square. If you're square, you're not around. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity.